Yes. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining in today for our fourth session on stress management techniques. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. Just wanted a quick check in that you've gotten your supplies that we mentioned in the chat box. I hope you've gotten yourself a pen or a pencil, a paper, and some colors because we're doing a art based emotional mapping today. So if you've not got that, we'll still give you time before we start the activity, 1 or 2 minutes. If you've not got it, it's fine. We'll do it then. We'll bring it then. I hope everyone's doing well. How's the mood today? Can you write it in your chat box or maybe unmute yourself and tell me how you all feeling today? Good. Okay. Good. 8 on 10. Nice, Aishwarya. Thanks. Good. Gr- Green. Arti, green. Does that signify any kind of emotion? 8. Thank you. Oh, as per the mood tracker. Okay. Somebody has asked me, okay, Vrinda has asked me, how am I feeling? I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really excited because we're doing two techniques today. One of them, which we did yesterday, was TMR, if you guys remember. Today, what we're doing is guided imagery. That's something that, was something that we couldn't do in the time that was given to us. And we all had a commitment. So, we'll continue the second activity of guided imagery today, and then we'll have Anne do emotional mapping with us. Okay, so yeah, just like a quick check-in question that I wanted to ask you all, and this is something that you can think about and answer in the chat box. Is I understand that you're feeling great, and there's like 8 on 10s, and you're feeling very happy. It's great. I wanted to mention something that has happened in the past week that you've been grateful for. So, anything that you've been very grateful for in the past week, if you would like to unmute and tell us, or just write it in the chat box, um, I would like if you could respond. So, I've been grateful that I have great friends and I have a great family that has been very supportive to me in my studies and in everything that I'm doing. So anybody who would like to like go ahead and tell me something that they've been very grateful for. Superb sunshine, yeah. I've also been very grateful कि there has been sunshine in the past few days. Anybody else, guys? Something that you've been very grateful for in the past few weeks. In the past week. For Kashmir, sunshine is important. Okay, Afrina, I didn't know you were in Kashmir. That's great. Kosha, yeah, go ahead, Kosha. You can speak.
So, ma'am, last week I was diagnosed with the Omicron variant, and it was for the second time. So,
Oh, okay. So
like
sorry.
our excluding my father, so he was negative, but we all were positive. And like within a week, um, we were out of it. So now we are negative again. Grateful for that because it happened for the second time, and we I would say I'm grateful for that.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, Kosha. I hope you're well
Welcome.
now.
Yes, yes, ma'am. I'm doing well now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. A lot of people are very grateful for. That's great that we are so insightful about what we're grateful for. Initiatives to reduce my stress, great. Low work pressure, grateful for surviving. Yeah, that's something that I'm also grateful for. Grateful for the support from my friends. Nice and good health. Universe was sparing our family from COVID. A lot of like we're grateful from being safe from COVID, I think. A lot of gratefulness goes there and gratitude goes there as well, I think. Grateful for learning new things to improve myself, for having a doctor who is very helpful. That's nice. Great. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing what you're grateful for. And on that grateful note, we'll start our session today. And basically, grateful for being safe from COVID. Yes, yes, yes. I think we all are, right? It's like a uniting factor for all of us. I think we're all grateful that breathing properly, especially, yeah, grateful for having in touch with Imuza. That's so sweet. So yes, basically what we'll start with today is guided imagery. Something that we couldn't do yesterday, but we'll be picking up today. Does anybody want to share if they've ever gotten to know what guided imagery is or know what guided imagery is? Anybody wants to speak or write in the chat box? Yeah, Kosha, go ahead.
So, ma'am, it's more of like a visualization technique where we guide clients to visualize certain pleasant things or
Right,
things which bring happiness and serenity.
right, right, right.
So, that is what
Yeah,
visualization is.
that's pretty much correct, Kosha. It's very much accurate. Guided imagery is a program of directed thoughts that guide your imagination towards a relaxed focus state. So you make the clients feel relaxed through visualization, as you put it, right? And it's based on the concept that your body and mind are connected, and using all your senses, your body seems to respond as though what you're imagining is real. Okay, so you try to make sense of the environment and then you imagine. So guided image is just not a mental activity, as I've written. It involves the whole body, the emotion, and all the senses, which is something that you need to keep in mind. And there are huge benefits of guided imagery. So like 10 minutes of guided imagery can promote relaxation, which has been proven to lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, lower glucose levels in the blood, heighten short-term cell activity, and it reduces stress and anxiety. It can help you reach your goals, such as losing weight or quitting smoking, lessen headaches and pain. It can reduce the aversive
Ma'am,
effects of
sorry to cut
chemotherapy.
you up, but your voice is too low today.
It's low. I'm so sorry. I'll speak a little. Now, is it fine?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Thank you for telling me. Otherwise, it would have gone to waste. Um, it can reduce the aversive effects of chemotherapy. It can help you increase skills and activities. So there are a lot of benefits of guided imagery, and that's something that we can also practice. So one of the techniques that we're doing today is with the leaf. Do people have gotten a pair of leaf? If you have, that's great. It's okay if you don't. And is it fine if we can have our videos on? Can you zoom in? The last slide? And am I audible? People are telling me
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not.
you are audible. I am able to hear you clearly.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yeah, it's zoomed in, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So, guys, it'll be very nice if you guys can have your videos on. I would be very happy if I can see you. If you need a comfortable position to sit in, please go ahead and do that. Find yourself a calm place where there's no noise as such. So it's an activity which is usually done if the clients are in a restless state, are not able to think properly, or very hyperactive, and not being able to sit in a position, in a quiet position. So what it does is it basically helps you with that. Okay. And so it's a little different, and I'm very excited for the session today. So let's start. um, I want you to be seated in a very comfortable position in wherever you are, bed or chair. You might choose to place your hands on your lap, or put your head down on the table, or not. That's okay. So I'm going to tell you a story, and as you sit and listen, you may choose to close your eyes or not. That's totally fine. Okay. So if you have a leaf, great. Otherwise, you can just imagine uh, through the visualization that I've put here on the screen, the leaf. So the story starts as: once upon a time, there was a little leaf. He was very happy little leaf who loved to hang out with his brothers and sister leaves on a big maple tree in the woods. He especially enjoyed the feeling of blowing gently in the wind, swaying back and forth until he was almost asleep. He played like this through the spring and into the summer, all the time just swaying in the breeze until fall came. Well, you know what happens to leaves in fall. And as the weather became cooler and cooler, the little leaves brothers and sisters let go of their perches on the tree and floated gently to the ground. Swirling in the breeze, they floated down, down, down. The little leaf felt very lonely and wanted to join his brothers and sisters. So one windy day, he closed his eyes very tightly, loosened his grip, and jumped from the tree. And before he knew, the wind had picked him up and carried him up, up, up into the cool air. Then the little leaf began floating down, 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 floating in the breeze. Down, down, down. And you may notice that your eyes are looking up, as if you can see the leaf floating. Or your eyes may be looking down, watching the leaf floating down, down, down. And then the wind carried the leaf up and then down, gently, gently, gently. Down, down, down. And you may see the leaf floating down, or you may see nothing, or you may feel as if you are floating like the leaf, or you may just feel comfortable and relaxed. I don't know, it's your choice. And the leaf floated down. and watched as he came closer and closer to the ground. Slowly and gently, floating in the air, down, down, down he went, slowly approaching the ground. And then the leaf landed in a pile of leaves, like landing on a giant, soft, stuffed pillow. So soft that he sank into the pillow for a few moments. And then he felt relaxed and content and safe and almost sleepy, glad to be with his brothers and sisters again. And you might even feel a little sleepy now or not. And now, remaining relaxed and content, you will begin to feel more alert as I count to three. One, your feet and legs are more alert. Two, your body is feeling more alert. Three, your arms, neck, and head are feeling more alert. And as you sit there, you will open your eyes and feel alert, relaxed, and content. Now, when you return to the session, you will continue to feel relaxed and alert. You can open your eyes. If it feels a little heavy, you can rub your hands and put it on your eyes. So, what we did right now is a transition ritual. Um, the little leaf, it is found as a very great relaxation technique for children dealing with anxiety. Um, and yes, this leaf, as if this leaf was me, exactly, Afreen. That's what we were trying to do. I wanted you to feel like it was you. And it's a very general relaxation technique for children dealing with anxiety, or these metaphorical stories could help them. Okay. I would like to know how your experience was. So if you want to like unmute and tell us, that'll be great. You can write in the chat box. It was relaxing. Assuming this leaf is me, feeling light as the leaf. It's great, relaxed. I could see a lot of people, so thank you for switching on your videos. It was relaxing, and the last part is very interesting. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you were able to feel relaxed. Great, great. Thank you so much. Yeah, little leaf. Yeah, we can use other stories, but then it should be a little more researched. I think this is a already formulated procedure that's already been there. I just try to practice it with you guys, form it for you. But there are more guided imagery stories that you can use. Of course, metaphorical stories. It requires planning and practice. And yeah, planning and practice basically. Your voice was soothing. Thank you. Thank you, Priya. Thank you, Janishi. So that's a part of the process that I'm not sure about, Manjima. Um, Riya ma'am, is there a way we can formulate stories? Because I'm not sure if we can.
Stories can be formulated, all stories are connected to a model in the end. Okay, so but this basic strategy is generally used with children who are hyperactive. Even adults find, a little bit of peace and calm when you modulate your voice even slower. It
Mm-hmm.
can go from a very slow to sudden outbursts of energy. It
Mm-hmm.
can be that way. At the same time, it can be a soft, slow pace for people who are very restless and anxiety prone. So if you know anything which, any story which can be a very calming, soothing effect on the person, you can always voice modulate it. Here, the key is voice modulation, because when you are visualizing the images, it should be that, your voice regulates the entire session, because the more calmer you are, the person gets more time to visualize and then understand what's actually happening, and that kind of metaphors imbibe inside you during the course of action. So you can always come up with your own stories, but at the same time be careful in the voice modulation part. It would be even better if you can have a very soothing music in the background wherever possible, because then music activates your whole brain and you see the images more clearly, which you can relate to. That brings in more calmness.
Thank you, ma'am. So I hope that answered you, Manjima. Yeah, okay. Great. Even focus is more. Yeah. Um, Thank you so much for your responses, guys. Does anybody want to share their experience by unmuting themselves? Anybody who wants to speak?
One just information I would like to tell you all. We'll be sending you the script, this entire script in a PDF. So if you want to practice it, it would be better if you're with your clients. It's necessary that you learn the process. Okay, because if you look and tell them, it would be a little awkward. So if possible, you can rote memorize it, voice modulate it, or you can have a recording as well. Whichever works out. Okay, we'll send you the script.
Okay. So we'll send you the script and you can practice it. As ma'am said, you can have a recording for it or memorize it. So that's pretty much the guided imagery that we were wanting to do yesterday. And um I am glad that you liked it. Somebody wants the first slide, the guided imagery. Is this the one, Parneet? We are also having a guided imagery workshop on 29th. So if you want to register, it's a more detailed, it's a more comprehensive workshop that you could enroll. It's the last day to enroll today, and it's at 8 p.m. tomorrow. And if you would like to register, we'll put up a link here and you guys can register. So please go ahead and register if you're interested, and if you like today's activity, I think you would enjoy that as well. And now that we've done the guided imagery technique, I would like to call Anne to take over and help us with our emotional mapping activity that we have for today. And would you like to take over? You're on mute.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is feeling good after a wonderful guided imagery session. So, after that wonderful session, we are going to start with the art based activity. I hope everyone is ready with their, material. Okay. So, first, we'll try to understand what emotional mapping or emotional maps helps us with. So, basically, it helps us, as an individual, as an user, to evolve in to get involved in collecting information that is related to our emotional links, okay, with our environment, our surrounding, how our emotions are, how we place our emotions, and how can we map them out, linking them with the environment we are in. Can we go to the next slide, Anushka? Okay. So, before we go further, I want to understand what you as an individual might feel uh, when you see or look at the word emotional mapping. Anyone can, you know. Yes, Janeshi, you can go ahead.
I feel that emotional mapping is more related to knowing what the emotion is
Mhm.
and connecting with it.
Okay, okay, okay. Definitely. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to? Okay. So,
Emotional
yeah.
mapping is
Yes, Nisha, go ahead.
awareness of intrapersonal and interpersonal emotions which
Mm-hmm.
we feel.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay. Anyone else who would like to, add what their view is about emotional mapping? Okay. Yeah. So just as Nisha and Janishi mentioned, emotional mapping is definitely it helps us to actually locate our emotions, understand our emotions, understand how we can try to work on our emotions and understand our emotions, which are either interpersonal or intrapersonal, as in which are within us and which are we are having from others. And when we are doing mapping, we are trying to map them out, we are trying to connect it with the environment we are involved in. So a lot of times what we do is we kind of try to categorize our emotions, but if we don't try to categorize our emotions, it might help us in a way to accept our emotions, which is very important to understand that, which can be also seen if we go through this, a suggestion or a view which has been given by Carla McLaren, who was an author of Language of Emotions. Okay, so what there was a suggestion by them that evolutionarily created reactions that are unique, suitable to certain situations. Okay, emotions can be seen as something that are reactions to unique situations, rather than us categorizing them into it's is it this particular emotion good or this particular emotion bad. We just see them as some reactions that we have while we are in a in a certain in we are involved in a certain situation. At the same time, it's why we should not be categorizing our emotions is because when we categorize, we kind of hesitate to accept certain kinds of emotions. For example, when we categorize some emotion as bad or negative, what happens is we are always trying to run away from those negative or those sad or those emotions we categorize as bad, because we are not ready to accept them, because we feel those are negative. If we categorize certain emotions as negative, we kind of feel that we are just we are trying to include a negativity and we try to exclude them. When we stop categorizing emotions as good, bad, positive, negative, what happens is we kind of, are able to, accept all the emotions that we are facing. uh, Anushka, can we go ahead? Yeah, definitely. We have few answers in the chat also. So it's like locating where your emotions come from, being aware of our emotions. Definitely. I hope everyone is ready with the required materials. Okay. It's like a paper, pencil, crayons, paints, or colors, anything that you have. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So now there are few benefits that we think might be from emotional mapping. So one is our the activity we are presently gonna do is it's more like a floor mapping. So we feel that might help us to cope ourselves from the this online setting that we are into the phase of lockdown or the phase right now of the online setting we are in, how we are you know in the four walls in itself, tied. And it would help us during this phase to cope from this time. Okay. And the second is this would help us to find out a safe space while we are within our house during the isolating times or during this whole period. It will help us to find a safe space within the house. Okay. Third is it would help us in untangling the nodes of emotions that are taking up space within spaces of home. Okay. So how, when we are trying to understand our emotions in within a house, it is helping us to untangle those nodes of emotions that are actually taking up a particular space in the house, that we only feel in the particular space of our house. And this might also help us to uh, us in the process of accepting all our emotions, where as and when we are experiencing those emotions, it would help us to process and accept that emotions. So without further ado, we'll get into the activity. So the first step is we all will try to create a floor plan of our own house. Okay. Floor plan of our own house. So what you have to do is take a sheet of paper, create a map of your house as if you're looking it from the top. So just like a bird eye view, you have to draw your house. Just we can see in the image a map of our house of how it looks. It doesn't have to be very detailed. It just has to be a simple diagram or a simple representation of our house, how it looks. So we'll take a 5 minutes. It would be very interactive if every one of us can turn on our camera so that we can see each other working together, which I think would help all of us to work.
Ma'am, could you I
Yeah.
connection?
Yeah, Kosha, go ahead.
Ma'am, what
Can
is
you
the first
repeat?
step?
So the first step is we have to create a floor plan of our house. So basically, how your house looks like when you're looking it from the top. Just the a very simple representation of your house, just like we can see in the image. It's just showing how many rooms are there, which room is whatever. Just little details. Once you're done with this, you can actually let us know in the chat box so that we know how many of you are done. Is everyone done? Can we move to the next step? Okay, so now we'll move to the next step. Um, so the next step is now you'll have to mark the floor plan. So basically, you have to mark the spaces or the areas. So first step was we drew the areas. Now we have to mark those areas, like naming them. For example, if there is kitchen, so we'll just write where is kitchen, and dining room, living room. So we can do that. I hope the step is clear.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I hope everyone is done. So we'll move to the next step. So now once we have, marked the spaces and we have also uh, drawn the whole map, what we'll try to do is we'll try to list any top 5 emotions that we have felt during the pandemic, like, or the past 1 week within the house. Any 5 emotions that you have felt in past 1 week, or you're feeling from like quite some time. Any 5 emotions, like top 5 emotions that you have felt. Yes, if you want, you can even take up feelings, emotions or feelings. Are we done? Yes. Okay, so we'll go to the next step. So once we have listed down our emotions, we'll now try to associate any 5 colors to these emotions. So you can give any color to any of the emotions you want. Okay, so we'll take 2 minutes to just decide on the colors and to mark them and keep them. Are we done?
And we have a question in the chat box. Do we need to only have 5 emotions?
Okay. We're just trying to focus on 5 emotions at the moment, but yeah, if anybody who feels that they have more than 5 emotions, I think they can go ahead with that. But we were just trying to focus on 5 top emotions that they are feeling in the house right now. Are we done with associating colors to the emotions? Okay, Anushka, can we move ahead? Okay. So once we have identified our colors, now what we'll try to identify the spaces where we feel these 5 emotions. So you can have like multiple emotions in the same space, or only one emotion in the same space, or only like 2 emotions in the same space. So we'll try to mark those spaces where we have felt these emotions. using the colors we have associated with them. Manjima, you can use two or three colors in a room, like if you're feeling multiple emotions in a room. So, for example, if we see in the image provided in the screen, there we can see that a person feels surprised and anxious at the same time in their sister's room. So similarly, you can also, if you feel that there are two to three emotions that are, you feel in one particular space, you can have two to three colors. Are we done? Okay, so we'll take 2 more minutes to finish it. So by the time everyone is trying to finish this, there are a few questions that others who have finished can think of. Anushka, can you just go to the next slide? Yeah. So these are few questions that who have finished can just have a look and have kind of think about. What about others? Is everyone done? Is everyone done? Can we have a quick response in the chat box?
Done.
Yes.
Done.
Okay. 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 So, would anybody like to, go ahead and answer the first question? Maybe by in the chat or, like to unmute. So, the first question is, what changes in my space I could make to feel emotions that I am comfortable in, experiencing? Listen patiently. Okay. Afreen says to listen patiently. Anyone else who would like to, go ahead and, give it a shot? Okay. So, if I talk about myself, okay. Hemlata says positive mindset. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So if I talk about myself, also like having a positive outlook is what I also feel. Okay. What? Yes, Natasha, go ahead.
So changes in my space in the sense what activity we did, right?
Yeah.
So I thought in my room I could add paintings that with attractive color. Like once I had made a painting with which had dominant blue and
Mm-hmm.
which is the same color I've marked as one of the positive emotion in my list.
Yeah. Yeah.
So adding something that triggers that emotion. So more of painting. Right now my room is with a dull color
Mm-hmm.
and old, old wall and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought adding at least some external painting, if not the entire room, would
Mm-hmm.
make that difference.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. We have few answers in the chat as well. It is Believe in Myself by Aarti. Dola says satisfying myself in small places. Alisha says people around or the way engage in thoughts. Okay. Okay. And then also we have another answer which says I have already started putting plants in my surrounding. That's really nice. Focus on present, be here and now as much as possible. Yes. Janeshi says cleaning out space and organizing. Definitely, definitely. Anybody else who would like to, unmute and, share your view? Okay, we have one more response in the chat. Engage in a healthy coping skill. Okay, okay. So we'll move to the next question. Okay.
I think Natasha ma'am wants to say something.
Uh, yes.
Hello, sorry, what happened?
Your hand was up, so I
Oh,
thought you want to say something.
no, no, sorry, I did not shut it out.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll move to the next question. Would Anushka, would you like to share something in this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of my top three feelings were very positive, and so I felt in love when I felt like happy and elated, and so a lot of mix of emotions take space in my house,
Mm-hmm.
and particularly my room. So I think there's a lot of positive emotions and a lot of like nice feelings that I'm feeling these days. So yeah, a lot of spaces occupy all of that.
Okay. Okay. Yes, yes, Natasha. You can go
I
ahead.
just realized now, like I was focusing just on the colors, but now I realize that I have my soft toys like around,
Mm-hmm.
30 soft toys since childhood, and a box where I have kept all the letters from my first birthday card till the workshops that I've taken and the children that I've written the letters and which is like priceless. And I always think, that, oh, if I have a house and if I am going to make a big treasure box and put all of that and make that visible. And now I realize I've shut everything that inside a cupboard and kept. I think I should get that out and make that more visible, would
Okay.
generate more positivity.
That's really nice. I
Thanks for
mean,
today's exercise.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Janishi, go ahead.
So even for past weeks and when we started this workshop or the whole sessions of stress management, I think from that day I'm also feeling calm and soothing. So maybe that space or that 1 hour I could give that to that color and space and calm, which I've not written. But when you said about which things could be helpful and organizing things, I think that could be much more in that. Maybe 1 hour of journaling or 1 hour of doing some things which I have been learning through, which will also be contributing from the change which I want to see in the first question.
Okay, that's really nice. Okay. Yes, yes, Anushka, go ahead.
So I have my balcony here, and what happens is, I don't know, it's like coincidence that whenever I'm in my balcony, I listen to like those like songs which are like light and like a little sentimental songs, and
Mhm.
that so that's the only space that makes me feel a little sad,
Mhm.
so what I could do is maybe change my Spotify playlist as soon as I'm in the balcony. I'll change it to like Bollywood dance upbeat songs. Maybe that could be
Yeah,
helpful.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Anybody else who would like to, share their experience also?
And Anushka, may I speak, please?
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Regarding the positive emotions we all feel good about and what we're missing out and how can we make the experience more comfortable, but also check in here about the bedroom space, especially those who are married or those who are into a relationship, because what's the emotion you have mapped there and what is the color. Maybe you can check in with that as well. Certain relationship issues also come up during this particular strategy which we are using right now. So maybe you can talk a little on that as well.
Yes, ma'am. Hemalata, ma'am.
Yes, like earlier mentioned, relationships also create tensions and stress, not only the outward appearance of the house, like you are mentioning the rooms and all, but the people we live with in the same house and the type of relationship we have with them, that also creates some tension and stress. And
Mm-hmm.
the changes that we, like I or anybody else, who need to take the first step of positive mindset and acceptance so that that particular person is comfortable living there in that house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not only
Mm-hmm.
about the arrangement of objects or cleaning or the mindset, the space is the space in a mind that has been filled with the tension and stress that has to be also cleared so
Mm-hmm.
that we are more comfortable, and we need to have the acceptance and positive mindset and all that positive thought for a better, uh, comfortable experiences to live with the other people in the house.
Definitely, definitely. Just like ma'am said, that we're checking into our space and seeing that the certain emotions we might feel we might be because of the relationship we share with others. I would definitely agree on that. Yes, yes, ma'am. Natasha, ma'am, go ahead.
I would like to share something here. So, with the space and the sharing, not everybody has their own separate room or the bigger space, right? So, as a kid, especially with me and my brother, shared a room, and of course, we are poles apart and always fighting and all that. But in that also, we have your own little space, as I said. So one part, the space in one cupboard was mine, where I had made a Barbie house and everything. And even on the bunk bed that they had, where I used to sleep on top, the down part just was mine. So because the walls and all, we were fighting who has to put which poster. So below that bunk bed, I had put a poster which was mine. So, what I'm trying to say is, though the smaller space, everybody can develop some space somewhere which is just ours and make the best out of it, probably.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I might agree with that because even I share my room. So it just becomes sometimes difficult to, you find your own space. And now because all of us are just home and are, most of the time at our home because of the, online scenarios we are into. So we all are trying to find out our own space in those smaller areas. And, even the relationship we might share with others within the house, they might have changed from what they were initially because all of us being in the same house, same room, sharing a lot of time together, which I mean, I might haven't like done from a long time. So it just becomes sometimes difficult to understand, what emotion exactly I'm facing. So like if I talk about my bedroom, I have all the emotions in that bedroom because I feel like it is very difficult for me to come up with one particular emotion for that bedroom in itself because I feel they're like multiple emotions because most of my day I spent in this room and I'm always inside this room, like let it me be attending classes or like workshops or anything like being in any other work. It's always engaging in within this room and we all share this room. This one room is like a common room where everybody comes in, like takes their things and goes. So I think yeah, so slowly we try to develop our own space and then that one corner becomes our own space which actually can define that okay, this is like the space where she sits or this is actually that one spot where she's always found. So yeah, I can totally relate to what Natasha ma'am shared. Yes, Sujata ma'am, you can go ahead.
Uh, my question here is like this activity, like I'm just understanding the purpose of this activity, like when I'm doing, because as you said, like I have multiple, I do not, I should not label the emotions as good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm having in one space itself, I am having multiple emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of this exercise,
Mm-hmm.
if I say, okay, now change the space to make my this thing experience better, now that means I am again finding out which is good and bad emotions,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yes.
I'm not getting it. That is what I'm
Okay. Okay, ma'am. I'll try to like make it more clear because even if we try to, not label certain emotions, but if we see a lot of studies have at least have tried to, put it into a way that certain emotions are positive and certain emotions are negative. And what we are trying to do with this activity is why we are as a floor mapping, why we took our house is because all of us are in that space from a long time and it is very important to understand that when even though we don't want to label certain emotions when we are in certain spaces we automatically tend to label them, but here we're trying to understand even after those labelings if we try to ourselves to understand that how we can accept all the emotions that we face, because if we all of a sudden try looking at to the colors also, we might have associated certain colors that we like to the emotions we feel are good, we feel are helping us. Same time if I say about being anxious, for example, if I say emotion for me as an anxious, I haven't associated with a very familiar color that I use regularly. Some what this activity we are trying to bring and trying to focus is just like how can we accept all the emotions that we feel and just not try to focus on only the emotions that make us feel only comfortable or in a certain way make us feel very good, or just make us feel that this particular space is very comfortable for me, so this is the only emotion I might feel or I should feel. Trying to understand that every space might make us feel differently, but it is very important for us to accept that particular emotion or that particular feeling, because if we try to ignore any certain kind of feelings, that might not help us. So the whole purpose of the activity in a sense is to understand how different spaces might make us feel differently, but how can we evolve within those spaces and try to accept each emotion that comes in our way. Yes, Anushka, you can add your view also.
Yeah, so it's very similar to what you were saying, right? Accepting the emotions. And so I believe that it's not a problem until you don't consider it a problem, right? So it's the same way with the emotions as well. They might be something which makes me feel a little down. So for example, I labeled like colored the room, my room, with a little bit of green, which I symbolized to tiredness. And I'm fine with it. I don't think it's a problem, and I don't want to like change it. So it's fine. I think I've accepted that to a point where it's okay. I'm feeling tired because I think I've been productive in the day, and it's okay to feel tired at night for me and go to sleep. So it's okay. And again, the acceptance part of the emotions, I think I also resonate with that. So I don't think we are like, I did not try to label my feelings as, this is negative for me and I should not do it. But yeah, certainly acceptance was something that I gained from this activity. So thanks.
Would anybody else would like to share their experience? Or ma'am, yes, Janeshi, you can go ahead.
I don't want to share, but I have a question. So, this activity is much more helpful when someone is not connected to the emotions, or it's like they are still. I'm not sure. Like the activity, the purpose of the activity is more to know your emotions and accept it, or is something else?
Okay. So it's so when we see in terms of emotional mapping, it's more about helping a person, or helping a person to understand first of all the emotions they feel. The main reason to come up with five major emotions is because we feel multiple emotions, but there are certain emotions that we constantly feel, or we are constantly in habitual of. So understanding first what all emotions we come across, you know first idea is that, and the second part is that so like how we can, without you know concentrating on the emotion as label aspect of it, rather than accepting it. So this activity is more in terms of first of all is understanding the emotion one is feeling, the top or the centrate emotions an individual is feeling, and plus how they can accept those emotions, because at times it's very difficult for us to accept emotions. There are many reasons to it. We see sometimes some people come up with certain scenarios where they say that I'm not able to accept this particular type of emotion, or this is how I have been brought up, I should not be accepting this. But it becomes difficult to talk out it into words. But when we try to include the color aspect, or coming up with an activity, that is where we're trying to tell them that, or we are trying to make them themselves understand that this might be a particular emotion that you're feeling, and it's very important to accept it. And also, just like for some time before, we said that some people might feel that, okay, if we take up from last 2 3 years, we might be seeing a lot of people who are saying that being home is not as good as they felt it would be. A lot of people weren't being comfortable being in their own home, like those four walls, for a long time, because that was not how they were leading their life for a long period of time. All of a sudden, shifting into a space, working from a space, the same space is becoming difficult. It might be because of a lot of reasons, but when you're not able to understand those reasons, just as before, we try to understand how we can connect those particular emotions we are feeling with people we are sharing that space, or the relationship we are sharing with other people. I think even that can be a solution we are looking for. So I think there's no particular solution we are looking for, but we can use it into these arenas, so that it can help us and our clients, if you're particularly looking to reach to a solution. Okay, yeah, I mean, we have few people in the queue. Yes, Priya.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So what was coming up to me when we did that activity was is about your
Mm-hmm.
association with the each place you have at home. For example, if
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we identified a place where is the negative emotion is there, looking into what is leading to the negative emotion, either it's anger or frustration in a particular room. So that could be about your relationship with other people in the family. Maybe that might be a common area where you meet,
Mm-hmm.
and exploring on why is there that negative emotion and what needs to be done to work on it to
Yeah,
reduce
yeah,
that
definitely.
stress on the tension.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, ma'am, definitely. So we took an aspect of, a house, our own house. But if we are working, I think we can also take different spaces. If you're working with a child, maybe school can be taken as an aspect. Also, if you're working with an adult who's having issues with workspace, maybe workspace as a, emotional mapping, we can take it as that also as a space. So here we try to focus on house because I think that would be more personalized and we could associate here and learn. But I think we can use different spaces to understand emotions, with floor mapping.
I guess it's the same with house as well, what you're
Yeah.
referring to,
Yes,
like you
yes.
said, everybody is in a close proximity now and
Yeah.
everybody's working at home. So, you feel more stressed out in this particular room because you are probably interacting with the other house members, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am,
And
definitely.
another one, what I looked at is for my own room, I had a lot of emotions in there where, which I feel is that is the place where you can let out your emotions, whether you're happy, you're not worried about what others would think about you in terms of
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So, your
Yes.
own space, which is your bedroom, is a space where it's going to be over empowered with emotions as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am, definitely. Yes, Natasha, ma'am, you can go ahead.
So, one more thing, what I felt, or is like the way I looked at it is like placing the trigger points, like
Mm-hmm.
when we say Goa, everybody thinks of beach and, probably beers, I don't know. So, something like that. So, something that triggers a good memory or the mood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, at the bedroom, if you're placing a book to read, it doesn't trigger you to, it triggers you to have a dull phase where you won't lie down or sleep. But if you
Mm-hmm.
keep that book, maybe somewhere you think a lot, maybe a toilet also for that matter. So that would be a place where you're thinking and you're reading. So is
Mm-hmm.
it like, this activity could also place like trigger points?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes, ma'am.
as it helps, there are going to be places where I cannot place or it I'm assigned to negative emotion. Now, if I'm not able or I'm not one at the authority to make changes in the place or change those particular things or add or minus things from that particular space, how do I handle it? Like, do I change the meaning of that emotion or the trigger point or the color or whatever?
Okay, so ma'am, so there are spaces where we don't feel very comfortable, right? So first is trying to associate certain emotions that you're trying to associate certain emotions that you feel in spaces you're comfortable. Uh, you know, Trying to change out the space little bit. So just like Anushka mentioned, that balcony is not a very energetic space for her. She kind of feel low, so she tried to change the type of music that she was listening to. So I think we can put some possible environmental changes we can. Otherwise it's always like what I try to do is the living room is not very spacious for me. I mean, I don't feel comfortable in the living room. So most of the time I try to associate something that I feel. So I write like reading books in my room. So what I do is I try to read, sometimes sit in the living room and try to read a book. So when I'm trying to associate, when I'm not able to make a change that is not possible in terms of physical change, like the color or the way my living room looks. So what I do is, what I'm having a positive outlook in the space I enjoy, I try to
Mm.
bring that to that space where I'm not very feeling very comfortable, because I think that might help me to be more open and comfortable in trying to be more comfortable in that space.
Okay, so not change in place, but some activity you bought in there.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
bringing something from something that makes me feel more positive. So I like painting. I
right.
Most of the time I'm painting in my room. So what I do is, when the living room is offering such a space where it's calm and I can go and sit and paint, I try to take my paints and my, my palette at there and go and paint. And
Mm,
I think now I have quite evolved that I can, sit in the living room for some time.
mm.
Yeah. So I
Thank
think
you.
that might help.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So anybody would like to share an experience or their view, add on to it? I mean, yes. Yes, Anushka, go ahead.
Not sharing the view, but I think because the time has gotten up,
Yeah.
we'll just tell them the assignment, and whoever wants to leave
Yeah.
can leave,
Yeah.
and then we'll continue with sharing our experience.
Definitely. Okay, so before we, try to move, like Anushka, like, can you just stop sharing once? So I would like if everybody could, turn on their cameras and share what they drew, so that we can take a small screenshot, maybe a small picture, because anyways we don't all online.
Also, we we can like post it on
Yeah.
your social media handles and tag Emojar if that's possible for you guys.
Okay.
I took them as well, but you can like post your own picture if you are okay with it
Yeah. If
on
you're
your social
okay
media
with,
handles. Yeah,
yeah, and
and
just tag
tag us.
emoji to it. That would
Yeah.
also be nice. Okay, so the assignment for today, I would like to, share. I mean, the assignment. So I would like if you want to just take a note of the assignment so that it becomes easier. Okay, I hope I pasted it. Is it visible in the chat? I don't think it is. Just a second, I'll paste again.
Will it be mailed to us?
Yeah, yeah, it would be mailed.
Okay.
Okay. So just the so it's just how and why acceptance of emotion as whatever they are is important is a question. You can just write a reflective answer to it. Just a paragraph how you feel, like how and why acceptance of emotion as whatever they are is it important is important. Yeah. I mean, thank you so much everyone for joining in for today's session as well. Yes, Kosha, go ahead.
Ma'am, so we can create a large document which has all forms of assignments and send it later. Would that do?
Yeah, yeah. So once this 7 day series ends, I mean, on the last day, you might receive a link to put up the assignments. So you will only have to put up share the assignments then. So by then you can, take your time.
So it can
Um,
document which
so
I
yeah,
can transfer, right?
yeah, yeah, yes. Yes, so Karna, like the YouTube video has been uploaded for, yesterday's session. You can see the session, like go through the session in the Emojar YouTube channel. And yesterday's assignment was the PMR. It was conducted in the session, and a experience or a reflective report regarding the process was to be done. So you can once go through the session and try to practice PMR while it is happening in the session, and you can write a reflective report on how you felt. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. We also had a lot of fun. We were able to understand a lot of new views, and it's always insightful when we have an interactive audience and we are able to interact with all of you. So we hope to meet you all tomorrow. Yes, Anushka, you can. Go ahead.
Thank you all for joining in today. It was a very fun day, and I think we enjoyed a lot interacting with you all. Thank you for being so enthusiastically participative. And for tomorrow, please bring paints if possible, paints and a paper and a pen.
Yeah,
That's
we're
pretty much
looking
it.
for a white sheet, and if you can carry something like a compass or anything that so that you can draw circles,
Three
and
circles, yeah, three
yeah, we're looking
different
for
sizes.
different sizes, either a compass or like bangles of different sizes or anything to make three different sizes of circle and scale like a
Yeah.
ruler.
So ruler, two pages, two white pages, pen, and a little bit of paints.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the compass or anything round, but three different sizes so that you can make three circles. Yeah, Priyanka.
Yeah, I just wanted to know where can I find the recording for yesterday's session?
In the YouTube channel, it's available
Yeah,
in the name
emojis.
Emojar's
All
YouTube
right.
channel. Okay.
Okay,
And
thank you.
Thank you.
and
Thank you
you
so
have
much.
sent they have, I think they are sending us the email which is very organized. Day one, day two. I think if you click on that, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, even on the YouTube link, even in the
I just
mail.
Yeah,
I just
email.
received it for day one and day two actually. That's
Okay.
fine.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you
Uh,
can
for those
actually
who
check
have
that.
not subscribed, they will not get any notification. So once you subscribe to the channel, you'll get automatic notifications. And we'll send you all together the links and all for the channel. We'll send you all together in a mail. So, we have around 1,000 people who have joined in for this course. So it becomes very cumbersome for us to mail every day. So what we are doing is compiling the links and then we are sending it in one mail. Don't worry, everyone will get all the assignments and the links, and we'll give you enough time to work on it. So don't worry about that.
Okay, everyone. We hope to meet you all tomorrow as well for tomorrow's art-based session. Hope
Thank
you
you
all
for
have a
joining,
great
everyone.
time. Thank you. Thank you for joining and being so participative. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.